Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Mark with Red Star Loft. Hope you are all having a good day. It's Monday morning, right about 9 a.m. Start work a little bit later today, so I still have about a half hour to be around the birds and to make sure they're doing well. So let's pop in here and give you guys some updates. Today is a day full of updates. Some good, some bad, but updates nonetheless. Actually, let me see. Yep, there we go. These are all of my young birds. 8 of them are gone out of this section, plus one on the race, so I have exactly 20 birds to race with for the next 2 races. I sent 21 to the 150-mile race yesterday. 19 came back yesterday, which are the 19 here. And then the 20th is in this box over there. It just came back this morning, so I have him separated. And just so he can eat as much as he needs and drink as much water as he needs. And this evening I'm gonna move him back in here, because tomorrow we go back to tossing. So they had a 150-mile race yesterday, and it was a really weird race for everybody. I know I definitely didn't win. The birds were released at 7. They should have been home right after 10 o'clock. They came home right around 11 o'clock, so way late. And that seemed to be the case for everybody across the club. I spoke with Jim. His came back a little bit before 11. I think 1 or 2 birds came back around maybe 10:30. So no idea what happened, but the returns were just really bad yesterday, and yeah, the birds didn't do too hot. But it is what it is. I've got the results from the 300-mile race, and we didn't kick ass, but we didn't do terrible. My first 3 birds were places 13, 14, and 15, so I was still happy with that for 300 miles. The first time ever doing that. Places 13, 14, 15 was perfectly acceptable for me. And yeah, like I said, all in all, the birds were doing a good job. So as I mentioned, I have gotten rid of just about all the birds that I was going to get rid of, that I mentioned in the previous video, guys. If I didn't email you back or message you back, I apologize, but I think that video went up something around 10 o'clock in the morning, and by noon when I checked my emails, I had over 70 emails inquiring about the birds. So it's yeah, I tried to get back to as many people as I could, and I'm still getting emails to this day, days later. So they are gone. And the ones from my dad's as well. I gave away those 2 pairs as well. This pair right here, as well as the pair on the bottom that I was going to give away this time around. I'm holding on to for a couple of more weeks to give to my buddy. But yeah, other than that, these guys were just fed. They are eating. And these guys are about to be fed. Actually, let me see if I can hand feed them. I never really tried hand feeding these guys, and they seem to be nice and calm today. So oh, here comes one. He's not scared. Go on. There we go. He pulled the trigger first, and then everybody else gets comfortable. Everybody else gets comfortable as soon as one bird makes the move. But yeah. And he just spilled more than half the feed. Anyway, they're on a relatively strict feed, so there's not really even a handful for them to waste, so let's give them their feed. But yeah, 20 birds left, so makes it much easier to feed, that's for sure. But yeah, the 8 that I had in here that you guys know about, those couple of pieds and a handful of other birds, I mean, they weren't serving me too much of a purpose. They were just, you know, eating the feed. They were slowing these down, especially those pied. They were slowing these down. There was a difference in the tosses when I put them with them and when I didn't. So this is what I have. This is the theme for the rest of the year. Next weekend is a 200-mile race, and then the following weekend is a 350-mile race. So next one shouldn't be too bad at all. I mean, that's what I said about the 150, and it turned to be pretty bad. But 200 shouldn't be bad. That's the one that we won. So far, I've won 200 and 250 this season, so we will see how that's gonna go. I got high hopes for that one. I wasn't even able to take the birds for a toss more than once last week, and I took them for 35 miles, and the weather and the conditions were so bad. I mean, it wasn't raining, it was just kind of foggy and dense, but it wasn't too bad. They took about 3 hours to come back from 35 miles, so this week is looking much more promising, so we'll be able to get in at least 2 or 3 tosses. Definitely doing one Tuesday and Friday, and we'll see, maybe Wednesday and Thursday as well. But yeah, you can see they leave that barley for last, but they still eat every single bit of that barley as well. So that's how they're looking. So once this racing season is over, guys, I'm gonna take a hiatus from YouTube. I've got some stuff that I'm dealing with, specifically with the birds and with the loft. I'm you know, battling the town, I'm battling my neighborhood, and you know, it's not looking too good. But until I get that stuff figured out, once this racing season is over, I will be taking a longer break from YouTube, just because there's a lot to get figured out. This has been going on for a couple of months. That's one of the reasons why I have to downsize pretty drastically. It's been going back and forth for a couple of months, and it looks like I'm on the losing end of that battle. So yeah, unfortunately, it seems like once I get this season wrapped up, just to make it easier on myself, and you know, winter's coming, there's really nothing going on once the racing season ends. But you know, who knows what the future holds for the loft. It doesn't look like I'm going to be here forever in the near future. You know, it's looking like I'm going to be purchasing some land, building a house out there, and building a mega loft, that I like to call it. So that's definitely coming up in the future. That's more near than far. And as far as racing for next year, because of the reasons that I've mentioned, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it, which I'm okay with. I mean, you know, I'd like to do it, but it's, you know, it's not looking like I'll be able to do it, since I really won't be able to fly too many birds whatsoever. So I'm gonna have to be taking a break from that as well. So if anybody, in 2 weeks, once the racing season is over, if anybody is interested in the Benzing clock with this huge Benzing antenna as well as Benzing Live, I can go into more details about that and make a video. But the Benzing M1 as well as the Benzing Live system that sends you notifications and text messages and all that stuff when your birds return, I think if you go to Seagull's website and you look at all that together, it's over $1,700. I'm not even going to be asking half of that. So if anybody's interested in a phenomenal Benzing M1, I mean, you guys know that's the top of the line as far as I know, top of the line clock, let me know, shoot me an email. I'll have my email address in there, as I did for the last video. It's the big, I think, 6-port antenna, and I mean, this antenna doesn't miss a bird. I've had training tosses where I take the birds and they all come in at once, and you know, 20-25 birds swarm that antenna at once, and that antenna registers every single bird every single time. So there's no hiccups and no missing steps. So yeah, that's kind of the bit of the bad news. Red Star Loft will be on hiatus until my situation's figured out. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it doesn't look like it's gonna be figured out in the next, you know, month or two. It's gonna be a longer process, and like I said, when I do come back, it might just be on a new piece of land with a new big loft. So you never know. I mean, I'll still be here. I'm still, you know, my videos are gonna be up. I'm still open to talking to you guys, to commenting. You know, it's none of that is gonna change, but it's just the video will come more or less to a halt, just because, as I said, I have some stuff that I need to figure out. Season's ending. There's nothing going on, you know, in October, November, December. So yeah, I will be, but yeah, I'm basically gonna need to see what's gonna happen in the end. So it might not even be making a whole lot of sense to you guys, but trust me, I've tried every avenue and every possibility, and there's not a whole lot that I can do left. So vast majority of the birds, a lot of them have gone, more will go, and I will only keep what my absolute best, and I might not even be able to keep them in this loft. So yeah, it's a bummer, but it's the reality of it. So I've had a couple months to more or less accept that, so I'm okay with it now. But again, I don't feel like going into too many details, so please don't, you know, go asking me, well, what about this? Well, how's this? How's that? That's, I mean, that's the gist that I can give you, and the last thing I want to do is talk about that in depth. So either way, still gonna be business as usual for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and still got, you know, got birds to train, got stuff to do. So I'm definitely gonna be focusing on that and worrying about other things when their time comes. So I'm gonna go check in on that other bird that just came in, make sure he's eating nicely and he's drinking that water, and I'm gonna be back with you guys either over this weekend or during the week. We'll see how things play out. But yeah, as always, if you're not, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, the channel will still be active, comments and all of that will still be active. I will be back. It's just a question of when. So as always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and take care.